far right here. Carter going to send Williams in motion. He's going to drop straight back, and they're going to throw a screen out to number 7, who's got it always down the sideline across the 50. He's got one man to beat, number 47, and he runs him over. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Raiders!
Touchdown!
What a run by Jacob Carter. Definitely a playoff caliber team. Here's County Raiders. He's going to draw back. We got a screen set up.
Oh, and it's intercepted!
It's intercepted by Demetrius Williams, who's across the 30 and down at about the 35-yard line, and that'll wake the crowd up there tonight. Wesley Cuthbert down the sideline.
He's gonna score!
Touchdown Raiders! Touchdown Raiders!
Oh, we're going crazy!
Go in the fourth quarter, and they're going for 2. It's 41-40. Bacon County on top. They're lined up for a 2-point conversion on 33. Pierce County is in the backfield with Stetson. This kid's a senior running back, Brandon Sapp. He's been it all year. Sapp's going to take the ball and hand it. He's going to try to pull it. We got him in the backfield. Oh, and we make a great play. He did not make it. Who was that on that hit? Who was that on the hit?
That's Demetrius Williams.
9 seconds is ticking. We're going to take this snap one more time, and that'll do it! As the Raiders have held on to go out victorious.
Hey, this place is going bonkers.
41-40 here as your Red Raiders come back. And boy, did we fight in that second half.
Welcome to the Red Raider Coaches Show. I'm your host Shane Bennett along with Coach Cofer. We're in week 2 or 2.5 now. Big week last week, got a big week coming up, and we're going to try to get a little insight on what's going to lead up to that. But Coach, first I want to, as always, give a shout out to our sponsors, our folks responsible for last week, getting ready to the church last week.
Yeah, Pine Level, Free Will Baptist out there. You know, these two guys go go to church there. We have 2 coaches that go out there too, and Kyle Langford and Ryan Connard. And those folks do us well every time we go out there. And always great food, always great atmosphere going to that church and getting a little fellowship right there and some good food. So it was very nice to go out there.
And we held the snakes back for one.
Yeah.
So, Coach, get straight into it. This was a big week for Bacon County. Of course, we're not in the region, but it's always a big football game with your rival and it being Pierce County. Did it change your demeanor, change the context of practice this week? I mean, just give me a little insight on this week coming up to the Friday night game in Pierce County.
Right. Last time we did the show, it was Monday. Everything was fine last Monday, and Tuesday, I came in practice, and we're talking about 4:35 in the morning, and I think I probably changed my attitude a little bit. I thought the kids handled it well. They were cool and calm the whole time. I was freaking out a little bit, and just a big game, and want them to be prepared and do the best they can in practice. And Tuesday got a little bit to where I thought we and it wasn't everybody, but a couple were loafing around, just going through the motions on things. I can't stand that. I can't stand that any time, much less this past week. And just want to be prepared and go all out. I just can't stand. It's my pet peeve about effort and not doing the best you can in anything that you do. And we got on the line, and I don't know how much we ran, to tell you the truth, Tuesday. It got pretty bad. And we didn't line up right. We didn't hustle. We didn't do something, and it got to be a running day. And Wednesday and Thursday got a little bit better. But, if anybody's demeanor changed, it was mine. I don't think anybody else's did. I just wanted them to be prepared and to go into this, because we knew it was going to be a big crowd there and Pierce-Bacon rivalry. And, I think when I knew for sure we were ready to play is when we came to the First Baptist Church to eat breakfast again, and appreciate those folks doing that again, all those gentlemen. And saw the kids, especially the seniors, in their eyes right there, and I said, shoot, we're ready to play. And, it even got to be before that night when we had the weather delay.
Right.
I was freaking out again. But both teams have to go through it. But losing focus. I've been through one of those delays. And actually, when I was at the other school I was at, went to Pierce County, we had a lightning delay there for an hour and a half. And the kids totally lost their focus. Well, ours didn't. And was worried about that. They kept coming to the door and then going back in the dressing room, coming to the door. But it wasn't any playing around. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you'll get that. And kids acted, ready for business.
Yeah, I noticed that when I came over here. I got stuck on that side during the lightning delay. And I was impressed when we talked about it on the radio that those boys were ready to play football regardless of what was going on. And something that we've been lacking in the last few years that we have this year is senior leadership. I mean, Demetrius, those guys, Jacob, they were focused and ready, and I think that was contagious with the rest of the boys as far as the way they got ready to play. I know you talked during the week about not being good and stuff, and it got better. Is anything different for Pierce Week as far as your preparation?
No.
I know the crowd and stuff that kind of overhype, I guess.
Yeah, but if you're talking about, I think the first thing people think about is crowd noise, anything like that, and that's why we have the radio and all types of music playing at every practice and stuff like that for noise. And we try to go fast for them to. They have to focus on that. So we treat every practice like that. It's nothing different. In any practice, it doesn't matter who we play, what kind of crowd we're expecting. I actually thought we handled the crowd noise very well. Last year we didn't, and we still had the radio turned up last year too, but during practices. But this year I thought we handled it 10 times better. I didn't think it fazed us. There was some few things to get you down. It's called adversity. We talk about it every day, every week. We have it in our life, and we had all kinds of adversity going against us in that game, and the kids never let down. But I don't think anything was different preparing. They knew a big crowd was going to be there. They acted like it didn't bother them, and they got out there on the field, and it didn't bother them. So I was impressed with our kids, the way they conducted themselves and prepared themselves, I guess you could say.
Well, I can say that's the first time in that stadium that it felt like the old stadium. The atmosphere there. If you couldn't get up ready to play football Friday night, it was impossible for you to. Because We're gathering the numbers, estimated somewhere around 3,300 there Friday night. There was standing room only. If you weren't able to be there, it was just a good atmosphere all the way around on both sides. And I had to say, as big as the rivalry's gotten, as nasty as they say it was a lot of sportsmanship on both sides of the ball. I noticed Friday night.
Yeah.
So that part of it was there. It's good to have a rivalry, but it doesn't have to get on the negative side, and it definitely was.
Right.
Did we come away, Coach, going into this week 3? Do we have any injuries to say or to mention that are worth?
Big man. Did something on the pass route to his foot. I think it's his big toe. You hear about all those things in the NFL with turf toe and stuff like that, but I don't know. He practiced fine today. Other than that, he's still got the shoulder problems, so he's kind of falling apart a little bit. But other than that, I think everybody's just a little sore from having a hard-hit game and playing 4 quarters, because we really haven't played the 4-quarter game yet. We played with the effort of 4 quarters, but we just, 2 scrimmages for 3 quarters, and then against Lanier, most of our starters were out by halftime, so they didn't play. So that was a good test to get us in shape also and play hard until the end. And our kids showed a lot of heart, but as far as injuries, just bumps and bruises right now.
Okay. And just a side note before we close the segment, the uniform of the game, black pants, red shirts, is that a choice you make, Coach, or is it you let your seniors make that decision?
We're trying to let the seniors pick what they wanted. I figured that they would pick all red all the time. It was we were supposed to have rain against Cairo, we thought, so we wore the black pants to not mess up the white ones or the red ones, and I thought we would wear white against Cairo, white pants with a red jersey. And so we had to pull out the black ones, and the kids loved them, and I thought it looked good. I know that's Brent Johnson's favorite uniform too, even though he says he likes the all red too. But the seniors picked what they wanted to wear against Pierce. Yeah, so they picked the black pants and the red jersey. They said it looked good too. So we'll do the all red, and we'll do the black. The black pants with the red jersey is my personal favorite too. It just goes along with the helmet and all the cleats and all that kind of stuff.
Keep winning it, no matter if we got.
Yeah, I don't care what they got on. Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back. We're going to break down the Pierce County game and talk a little bit about it. But first, we want to thank Titan Modular Systems, one of our big supporters, Clean Air and Electric, Mr. Andy Batten, Richmond Bacon, Access ATC, and Flash Foods. These folks are a big part of Red Raider football and the reason that we're able to do what we are able to do. We'll be right back after this quick break. All right, Coach, we want to get into a little bit about the Pierce, or not a little bit, a lot about the Pierce game. Talk about it. I know hour and 15-minute delay kind of threw the kilter off. We thought it didn't affect the boys, in my opinion, at all. The only thing I think it affected was the concessions. Mr. Lane Wade said that they sold out everything because people stayed there and ate, and they came back in and ate. So they did a real good job Friday night. You talked about the keys of the game going in before the game. We talked about the pregame stuff. And I think you held into that. What do you think the key was Friday night as far as us coming out with victory?
You know,
If you had to name one thing.
heart. You know, you see it in movies and you talk about it all the time, and it just, it just came to me. It's nothing new. You have to play with heart during the game. I just said, pre-game, I said, heart's going to win this game. And what I meant is I think if we stay in it and you keep chugging at the end, good things are going to happen. And almost every coach says that. And, I get emotional after games when these kids do something, just, win or lose, they go and they fight to the end. I'm going to be right there with them. And I love that they do that. And that's why I kind of got emotional after the game. But heart, we talked about that you got to have that heart to the end. And, we're down 2 scores at halftime, almost 3. And those suckers came back and had nothing fazed them. And that's the kind of team that you want right there. Dude, we're down 20, 2 touchdowns, 28-14. We're good. We've been down 26-0 last year, but just heart winning this game. I attribute it all to that and just plugging along. Had a lot of two-way players. They didn't. And our kids just kept going. At halftime, we were resting Demetrius and Jacob as much as we could during the first half, and we're down at halftime. It should have probably just been 1 score, but we got a bad punt off, and I called the wrong play. I've said this, I said it on the right there at the end of the game. I'm saying it again, telling everybody. I have my play call sheet, and it has, we go by college football teams. It's what they look on their armbands for. And had a screw up on calling the wrong play all week, and I forgot to change it for some reason. And I called that same play, and that's when Aubrey took about 11-yard sack right there. And then we had to punt the ball out of there. And that's when big man shanked off his foot. So that score is on me, not the kids right there, right before halftime. So that was my fault right there. But even after that, kids kept plugging along, and they got my respect from it. And it's, we didn't have that until the end of the season last year with all that team. And we finally played it the last game of the year. But these kids have done it the whole, they don't panic. They think they can score from anywhere on the field. They think they can drive the ball down the field. And if it counts on defense, they're going to come up with some kind of interception, turnover, something. And, I told you that no turnovers. That's our goal every game. We turned it over one time on a fumble, and Wesley had run Wesley to death. And he had another big run back-to-back. And, he was feeling lightheaded, and I kept him in there one more play. And I was actually running other people on the field, but he was doing good, so I did that. But and then 40-plus, well, we got 41. So, we met our goal, almost met our goals without the turnover right there. But just heart. Every kid out there, Keem Peterson, playing both ways. He looked like death coming off the field in third quarter, and then we got into the fourth, and it was 7 minutes to go. And I remember saying something, Coach K was getting on to him, and not getting on to him in a bad way, getting on to him, trying to pump him up. And I said, boy, you got to go 7 more minutes. And he said, I got it. So, and that was every one of them.
I heard it from every one of the kids, just that look in their face. I'll never forget that look. I've not seen it in a while. That was impressive.
It was. And that, I told Jacob and Demetrius, I kind of got off on my story right there, but told them, I said, y'all can't come out. Y'all going to have to go. Now, we spelled them sometimes. But there's one that Jacob looks like right before he scores a touchdown, like death, like he barely moved. And he was blocking for Dawson Jewell one time. Dawson almost got him into the end zone. But just a team. It wasn't one person. Jacob had big stats. Demetrius had a pick and ran good the whole night. But the offensive line paved the way. What about the upbacks? Anthony Madison, KJ Castile caught 3 passes.
Dakota Screws in that front line.
Yeah, Screws did a great job. Will Richardson, P.D. Simmons, Jesus Brown, all those guys right there.
When I tell you another thing that made a big difference is Aubrey coming into his own at place kicking in the extra point.
Amen.
That was the difference in the game Friday night.
Right, it was.
And that's something we haven't had the confidence in. But Friday night, we just knew we were going to make it. And that one, I think, I've looked at the film 2 or 3 times. I can't tell if it was partially or blocked or he just got a piece of it. But,
yeah. Well, I had jinxed him right before that because he had come off the field and I said, dang, man, 5 for 5. And he was giving me high fives and all that. Well, about that time, that's when Wesley runs back the pick 6 and Aubrey has to go out there and he misses it. And he comes off and kind of smirks at me. And I said, I jinxed you, didn't he? He said, so, but it held up for us. So that was good. He's doing a good job kicking off, and he may punt for us Friday night too. So we'll see. So he's doing a good job with the quick kicks. He's had 2 quick kicks. We line up in just a trips formation sometimes and kick it out of there, and almost got blocked Friday. But I mean, he's put 2, in 2 or 3 weeks. He's put 2 inside the 10, and does a great job with that too. So he's having a better time with it. And I think he has a better time because Coach Cofer's not on his tail so bad. So anytime you have a kid like that plays loose, leave him alone. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Leave him alone. So
Yeah. Well, and I just think if you went through every position, I know on the radio side we gave Demetrius play of the game, but I mean we could have picked out one from anyone. We based on just the turn of the game at that point. But even then, the boys were, even though they were driving down, they were just still struggling out. I mean, I keep saying it, but just overly impressed with the way they keep fighting back. Defensively, what was your standout there for us? Way we did Friday night.
Yeah, it was one that I got on at halftime, and not too bad, but I kind of called him out, and that's Zevion Brown. We call him Tito. He's number 31. He's got the dreads hanging out back of his helmet. He's pretty small, but he's quick as lightning. He ended up playing a little defensive line for us at the end of last year and coming on. So he plays a little dog, that outside linebacker, and then it comes down to defensive line, and he hadn't been reading the screens very well. Well, that sucker came out at the second half and read them a lot better. Now, did he make some mistakes? Well, heck yeah, we all make mistakes. I made a bad play call because I want to screw up. We all do it. It's how you rebound from it and come back from anything. That's like life. And Tito did a great job right there. Akeem Peterson, and Jesus Brown, they were on the offensive line, had to play a lot of defense for us. And Akeem, I don't remember saying a word the whole game. I think he was just exhausted. He had to sleep well. Friday night. Wesley, all the linebackers, Jacob chasing down the quarterback. Quarterback was pretty dang good at Pierce. He's a good one. And defensive backs, big boy, Ontario Moore came out, at the end of the first half and then played lights out for us and holding them. Franklin Brinson back there at DB, right there. Trey Stewart stepped up a couple of times. We made some bad mistakes when we're in man and looking into the backfield, and it cost us 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And we called them out at halftime, but our kids took it. They didn't take it like we were attacking them. They take it like, you dang right, Coach, we got to get our stuff together and we got to get back. And they did. And they played lights out the second half. And if you look at the box scores, they scored most of their points in the first half, not the second. Right. They had to score 1 right there at the end. Defense was bending a little bit the whole game, but they didn't break, and they came up with some key turnovers right there with Demetrius' interception right there when they're driving down for the score right there at the beginning of the third quarter, and then Wesley's pick 6 right there. And they just stood up and they made some key stuff. We're still working on offense and defense and special team stuff, so bear with us. It looks very obvious like there's a hole right there. Well, we're trying to play off percentages and stuff about what they do on certain downs and stuff like that with our defense. And you got to understand the type of people that we have too. We're not blessed with a lot of big kids, and it's not going to happen. So we have to do what we got to do, and just sending people and trial and error right now, and we'll get better towards the end of the year.
And I'd say special teams to me has really took it up a notch this year.
Yeah, a lot of young guys trying to earn their way.
Right, and I've been impressed that the first kickoff the game, we get the fumble down there and kind of get we lost a wedge there. But other than that, I think all in all, we played pretty good. And then coming right down to the last play where they tried the onside kick and just lost him right there. Xavier Hayes gets on the ball right there.
Yeah, to me, we talked about Demetrius, we talked about Jacob's awesome game, and I thought we played 3 quarterbacks again. We'll probably be that way the whole year because those guys can interchange. We play a lot of running backs at one time, and I don't even have to send them in, or no coach has to send them in. They go in on their own. They know when that other guy's had enough, so they take it on in there. But all these guys have done an outstanding job. Aubrey with his 5 extra points that helped us to win. Mm-hmm. But Xavier right there, had a quiet night. He's out there, and then sometimes on the horseman package, he has to come out. But we have our best hands people out there on hands team. We practiced it since the summer. We do it every year. And we kick all kinds of kicks to them, some that make them look bad, some that make them look good. And that ball sat there, it seemed like forever, rolling on the ground. And Xavier just attacked it and got it and came up. And pointed, that we had the ball, and boy, it was huge. So, I mean, you give Xavier Hayes a play of the game as far as I'm concerned. That was huge. And Xavier came up with that. He was aggressive enough to go after it, know that we had to have that right there. So,
Well, before we take a quick break, I think if anybody else gets a player of the game, it'd be our 12th man Friday night. I mean,
amen.
I'm impressed with that crowd that we had here Friday night.
Yeah, let me go with the student section first. They dress up on a bear hunt. And I didn't see it until some pictures got posted, the past couple of days. And there's old Klein Nipper with his bear skin on and looks like a hunter from some kind of movie. Our kids are so supportive, and even when the girls softball team plays, our kids, football kids, golf, tennis, it doesn't matter. Just kids in general don't even play sports are out there in the outfield with our girls softball team. They do the same thing for us back there. Even the big huge head of this one. And
that's an actual picture too.
Yeah, actual size. Yeah, they get on me about that. Anyway. Moving on, but they do crazy stuff like that and throw the chalk up in the air. That is huge, and our kids on the sideline feed off of that. And all you people that are teachers from our school system and just community people, you don't understand how impressed we were by y'all being there and supporting us. And that was, we talked about it after the game. That was a community win right there. Not just the Red Raiders right there, but that was a community win for Alma, Georgia. And we love y'all being there. We appreciate you coming back again and supporting us, in all these other home games that we got, even the away games. So thank you very much for being there. So thank you for that support you gave us Friday.
All right, Coach, we'll take a quick break and come back and we'll finish up with a little talk about Charlton County. But again, we want to thank Titan Modular Systems, Clean Air Electric, Mr. Andy Batten, Richmond Bacon, Access ATC, and Flash Foods. We'll be right back. What she said. All right, Coach, we're going to talk about Coach Mack and Charlton County Indians and what we got coming in week 3. We've played so far a 4A, a 3A, 1A at Lanier, but we're going to go back to 1A and Charlton being a much stronger 1A team than Lanier was, and not taking anything away from Lanier. Coach Mack has a lot of history down there, a lot of tradition. I know they came up here last year and spoiled our home opener here at the stadium, so a lot of stuff's going to play in this week. We're 2-0 going in this week. Just a lot of variables, I guess, not saying any better to what plays in. And just like Pierce, we don't want to over amp up for this week. We don't want to underdo it. So how do you handle this week getting ready? And we're already in day
Right.
2 this week because of the holiday and stuff. Did the holiday mess anything up? I know you're right on schedule with practice.
Yeah, usually with a holiday or, when we're off of school, whether it be anything, it's heck trying to get kids here and all that. But everybody was there. Everybody did the right thing. It was actually a good practice to go. And then you're talking about Coach McQuarter and Charlton County and legend in South Georgia. He's been in Charlton County for over 20 years, and a lot of state championships, just a lot of tradition right there. And it's tough to play against that. And this will be my first experience at Charlton County playing there. And Cook did it back in the day before I got there. And had that rivalry a little bit going with them, but never been there. We quit playing them after that. So never been there, but I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to get down there. Last year they came in with an attitude, and a good attitude for them. And first home game, it kind of spoiled it for us, and I think they knew that. We were trying to win that game, and you could tell the attitude that they brought on the field right there at the beginning, and we weren't near ready for that. And I made a comment at South Georgia Media Days that we got beat up. We took some losses last year, even by Benedictine, our state champion in AA. But Charlton County was the one that physically beat us up, and I wasn't expecting it, to tell you the truth. And I won't ever go into a game not expecting it from anybody, and that's why I kind of get a little ill before every game. And so that prepared me a little bit. Now, that's what we're trying to do. Our kids know it's going to be physical. They're an awful physical group. I think they're twice as physical this year, seeing them on film, as what I saw last year. And, this is I've already made the comment, and I'm not afraid to say it. I think Charlton County wins the state championship in single A. They look that good. Their defensive line is pretty awesome. Athletic, quick, aggressive, gets fired up. You see that at the beginning of the game with some kids, and I hope we kind of wear them down a little bit when we get into the game and can do some good stuff and kind of, slow that temperament of them down. But linebackers are fast. DBs are very good. I mean, they have a quick defense. It took me some time to even try to find some things that we could do this Sunday, and going over film study and yesterday and still today. We'll watch some more film with the kids tomorrow about these guys. We just we do it like any coach does. We try to find some kind of weak point, some kind of player that has some kind of weak point in his play, whether he wears down, anything like that. But, you got an all-state nose man. I don't know his name, 65. I think he broke his leg last year before they played us, so we didn't have to block that big sucker, but he is good, and he's not the only one. They got a couple of defensive ends they can go to. They run a 3-5 on defense. They spread it out on offense. Number 2 broke his leg against us. It was pretty horrific looking at it, and had a lot of people praying for him. Everything went fine. He's back this year along with number 8, their running back that's been there for a good Lord knows how long. And then the quarterback he's kind of like the point guard. He gets it to the playmakers, and they do the damage. I think they've had to replace some of their offensive linemen, which is a good thing for us, but they still get after it and fire off the ball. That's what I noticed about the offensive line. They're going to come off the ball, and these guys do. And, he's got a great team. He really does. And, he made that comment at South Georgia Media Days that he was going to they had a lot of people back. They were going to be strong, especially the defensive front, and he ain't lying. You watch the film on them, they get fired up and fly to the football. And we're going to have to weather that storm a little bit as far as playing at their home place, watching them be fired up. I think they're prepared for us coming in 2-0. They know it's going to be a good game right there. We have to match that attitude. And I can promise you we're going to come with an attitude. Now, nobody guarantees wins and stuff like that. Coach McQuarter might can, I don't know. But we're not near as good as that as far as preparing and saying that we're going to win a game. But we're going to come with a lot better attitude than we had last year when we played that group, and we will keep at it. That's what we want. The only thing is about this game is it's right behind this Pierce game, and there's a lot that went into it. I didn't understand that the first year. I understand it a lot more this year as far as coming from that and the community too. Our kids have had a good couple of days of practice. which kind of scares me too because we wasn't very good last week. We played good, but you know it's going to be physical right here. And like I said, we're going to have to match that physical with Charlton County and get after that defense a little bit and then hold them up. We have to come up with turnovers. I say it every week and going to continue to say it. You have to win the game. If you're going to win, you have to have the football. And you got to steal some possessions away from that other team. And we have to get some first downs and move the ball. And we're going to have to come after them. And that just means our offensive line is going to have to match up with that defensive line. They got one All-State guy on there, but I think they got three. All 55 and 25 are just as good to me. They look good and they play the part. But they play very physical and like they're teed off on every snap. And that's what we try to do as well.
Well, even with as many folks as Pierce had Friday night, they started getting gas towards the end.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a key in Charlton? Is to run that as quick as fast as we possibly
can?
Yeah,
well, and I say this all the time. It's easy to say that you're going to run hurry up, no huddle, but the key is you have to get first downs. That's what gets you in a rhythm. If you don't get a first down, you're 3 and out, and you're punting, and you're putting your defense back out there. So we have to start off well. We have to start off fast, and it doesn't have to necessarily start off on offense. It can be on defense or some kind of turnover, maybe. Let's get them down a little bit like that. But they're thinking the same thing. That's just a game of football. It's no secret. But we want to start out fast. We want to get that done, and we're going to have to make our mark offensively against their defense. I think that's the matchup to me. I think I don't think either one has a weak point or anything like that, but the way that our offense is moving and scoring some points right now, even against Cairo, we moved the ball. Should have scored right there at the end. It's big. I mean, we have to have the ball and turnover-wise, and then getting some first downs to get that rhythm so we can play fast. You can't wear them down just going out there and three downs and out and putting the ball away. So that's the key to this game. So I always say turnovers, but that's the key. A lot of first downs. We had 20 versus Pierce, 20 first downs, and I don't know how many they had. I think they had a bunch too.
They had 20 until that. So it was all pretty close.
Right. So we'll get that. And just like we did at Pierce, that's how you're going to wear them out. And if you can run the ball right at folks and do that and go fast, you're already wearing them out by going fast, and then you're taking a helmet in the mouth, every play. That's a little hard to take too. So if we can get to that point, that's what we want to be able to do. And so we're definitely going to have to take the crowd out of it too. And I don't ever forget that Charlton crowd that visited us last year. Band was loud, the crowd was there last year for our first home game at this stadium. So we're going to try to return the favor right there. And no disrespect or anything like that to Charlton or Coach Mack especially, because he's one of the great ones. We hope we can even get close to that kind of success that he's had and his staff, but we definitely have to get after their tail.
What about special teams on that? How do we line up with them, special teams?
I mean, they got speed. I definitely think that they have us, speed-wise everywhere. Even their defensive linemen are fast. They have a speed defense. I thought they had it last year too, but to this effect, their coach, their middle linebacker, number 22, has, he reads screens very well and certain stuff. So we're going to have to move them sideline to sideline. We're going to have to take our chances downfield, and if they man up on us, we'll do that. We're going to take some chances. We're not going to just sit back and dink and dunk right here. And we're going to run the ball at them, try to wear them down, try to get some first downs and roll. But they have a fast defense, So, we talk about it all the time about plays. We ran 65 against Pierce. That's still pretty good. Some teams are running in the 40s, and winning ball games. You can run 30-something and win a ball game. Just depends on who you're playing and what kind of talent level they have. But 65 plays in a game against Pierce is not bad. I thought we ran a lot. I thought we might have got up into the 70s, but sometimes you can score points without doing that. And 65 plays is not bad for a high school football team.
Well, is anything different this week as far as, this is actually be our first travel, and we got 6 weeks in a row of it. So,
right.
Now you leave a little bit earlier. Does that mess up in your?
No, we try to time things to where it was going to be done this forever. since I started. I wanted to be able to keep the same kind of schedule if it's home or away. You know, we're going to do certain things to keep ourselves busy until 4 o'clock or 4:15. That's where we're going to watch film. That's when we're going to do that. Now, we won't get to watch film while we're on the road, but well, on phones we can, and believe me, I will be. But no, I mean, it's there, getting there at 5:30 and then getting out there at 6:30 on the pre-practice right there and warming up. But other than that, you know, game starts at 7:30, so we'll move on there. But nothing changes.
Well, I know this is South Georgia again too, and we're looking at with these new systems, and even the Georgia game Friday or Saturday got delayed because of light, and it was sunny outside. So,
right.
And I think Charlton even got delayed, so we're going to have to prepare for that, I guess, each week until it gets later in the year.
Yeah, and that you know, the weather, you know, it does that, but the storms aren't, you know, like I thought it was going to blow over this past Friday. It'd be one of those summer storms and go. Thought the clouds were moving by, and it wasn't. It stayed for a little while. Stayed for a lot longer than I thought it was going to do. So. Hopefully we won't have to run into that again. It's caused us some painting problems with our field too, and having to paint on different days. But we got the field painted. You know, we don't have a JV game this week. Lanier has canceled, so we don't have that JV game. Wanted to say that too. And we have a middle school game tomorrow at 5 o'clock versus Arthur Williams out of Wayne County.
Okay. All right, Coach. Well, the biggest thing is we want to make darn sure everybody can come to Charlton County that can. Because we want to fill those bleachers and, like Coach said, return the favor, and not in a negative way. Just the atmosphere of these boys feed off this more than you'll ever know. That excitement they had Friday night, we can do the same thing down there because Charlton will have their bleachers full. We want to do the same. Coach, anything else that we want to?
No, just looking for a big crowd. Looking for a big crowd that'll go down to Folkestone with us and just support these kids and these coaches because we need it too. It's you know, you can feel the energy. I've said it many times. You can feel the energy behind us right there from just cheering when we make a big play. The kids feed off of this and love it. And, you know, they don't do anything and try to embarrass themselves by pumping up the crowd. But it's for real. Mm-hmm. And it was real Friday, and we need that again. You know, band's done a good job right there supporting us. And it's great having that sound system and music being played when we're playing at home. That's why we need it at Folkestone, and we need that help right there from y'all. And if we only have a little bit of fans out there, it's not going to be as much energy behind us as we usually have. But we need a bunch of people there, so we'd appreciate you coming if you can.
Yeah, for whatever reason you can't make the trip to Charlton, BCTV on the NFHS network, powered by Play On Sports, the game will be live and it will be available. So, and if you can't catch it Friday night, something's going on. It's on demand all during the next week. So that's going to wrap it up for week 2 of Red Raider Coaches Show. And we look forward to being here Monday talking about a victory over Charlton.